What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Nostra back at you guys with another sneaker review, unboxing, and of course that on-feet look with a sock combo to match, guys. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, doing another one of these. This one sort of dropped on me out of nowhere. The Nike Zoom Freak 2. The colorway on this one is particle gray and black in a US size 11 and retailing for $120 US, guys. Let's check out this colorway. Alright fam, in hand we have the Nike Zoom Freak 2 in the particle gray colorway. These are pretty dope. This colorway definitely snuck up on me, guys. I literally walked into the stores and these were sitting on shelf. Hadn't seen pictures of these. It's been odd times. The marketing has been a little bit different nowadays. Who knows if these are even supposed to be out yet. However, my local Foot Locker definitely had these things. I walked right in, saw them on shelves, and didn't hesitate to cop to try to bring you guys this review as prompt as I could. Even though, guys, I am so far behind on these things, I'm going to try to do the white cement review right now as well. But guys, the longer I hold these things in hand, the more I check them out, the more this colorway grows on me, the more I like these sort of some subtle Jordan 4 green glow vibes to this shoe. In my opinion, that particle gray definitely hits. I'm a fan of any gray really on a shoe. It's just a dope option in my opinion, just a very versatile option. I really love white shoes and I think gray kind of toes the line of being somewhat close to a white shoe. However, it's a little bit more forgiving. It's a little bit easier to kind of keep clean and not get dirty so easily. The main thing I can say about the Zoom Freak line in my opinion, especially with the 2s, is this really feels to me like the true successor to the Kobe line. What they were doing with that Kobe AD line had a couple cool features here and there. However, eventually it got to be less and less like the kind of Kobe's of yesteryear that we all loved, the 4s through 11s, and it sort of started to take the shoe in a completely different and new direction. And honestly, guys, the naming system got to be very confusing for me. It just seemed like every Kobe that released that was a mainline Kobe was an AD, and I had no idea what any of the rest of the naming kind of meant or applied to the shoe. But this to me feels like the true successor to the Kobe, not only because it's a low cut shoe and the cut of the shoe in terms of the width of the shoe feels very similar to a Kobe, but guys, just on court, underfoot, some of the features that they threw in this thing, it feels a little bit more like a streamed back Kobe, or like what they should be doing with the Kobe line at this point in time. I was a big fan of the Zoom Freak 1s, however, the shoe probably wasn't the best option on court. Pretty cool option for maybe taking to the court a little bit more casually, or just shooting some buckets or whatever, or just wearing a shoe that's a basketball shoe a little bit more casually. However, the options and what they've done to this shoe I think make a lot more sense and make this a lot more viable option for a basketball shoe on court right now, and it really makes the shoe hold up to anything, a LeBron, a Kobe, whatever, just depending on what you're looking for in your performance basketball sneaker. The main thing about this shoe, whether you're looking at it on shelf or you have it on foot, is going to be the decoupled outsole. You can sort of see that there's kind of like a break in between the back half and the front half of the outsoles of this shoe. The two footbeds of the shoe kind of exist dependently and independently of one another, and what that does is it really kind of allows you to land on the shoe or to explode off of the shoe in different areas to make some of those jumps and cuts and Euro steps that Giannis of course is really known for, and not really hold you back. Whether you're landing on the forefront of the shoe and the back half of the shoe is kind of shifting one way, or vice versa. And I think it's a pretty cool and functional feeling underfoot. It's definitely something you can feel. They moved that Zoom Air unit from the heel of the shoe from the 1s up to the forefront of the shoe in the 2s, which I think is a no-brainer nowadays. And even though it does say Air Zoom on a portion of the heel of the shoe on the medial side, there is no zoom bag in the heel whatsoever. It just features a very, very thick midsole, which is pretty forgiving in its own right. And while this shoe is somewhat minimal, it does provide you a pretty decent amount of cushion. And to me, while it does look stacked it feels good underfoot. I definitely like how these things feel. I feel like on court, this is a way better shoe than the Zoom Freak ones, especially if you like your Zoom Air up in the forefront of the shoe, which I feel like everybody does. The only people that really want it in the heel are people that also want it in the forefront of the shoe, guys. They've also added this pretty cool caging system to the medial side of the shoe, which is definitely functional in its own right. I think anytime they've kind of brought a caging system like that to the shoe, it's kind of independent from other portions of the shoe, and it definitely is another added layer of support and lockdown, which I think functions very well, whether you're making lateral movements or horizontal movements. No matter what direction you're heading in these things, they're gonna lock you down. It feels good on foot too, guys, and definitely does the job. Very functional added element right there with that caging system. This colorway is a little bit more casual than we've seen with some of the colorways, which they've decorated, of course, with Giannis's 34 in a humongous fashion right there. We see a miniature swoosh on that back portion of the shoe in white right back there. Almost all of the shoe is going to be particle gray. We do see some hits of this kind of subtle toned down blue, whether it's the sock liner or the back of the tongue of the shoe, or on this giant little piece that decorates right below the swoosh of the shoe right there. Another really cool element of this shoe, which I didn't notice until I had these things in hand just now as I was literally hitting record on the camera. If you look really close on the swoosh itself is all black. However, it's actually comprised of teeny tiny hearts and spades and diamonds and clovers, which is a pretty cool added touch. There's also some numbers near them, almost like they're pulled from playing cards. A pretty cool little touch right there. We see that small triangular Freak logo on the tongue of the shoe, and then some really cool hits of sort of like that green glow on the actual outsole of the shoe. The front portion of the outsole of the shoe features this very dope radial pattern. In a lot of areas of that outsole, it's very small nubs, so you would think these things are probably going to get torn up if you're really playing in these things outdoors on court. However, indoors, these things do give you some pretty dope grip and pretty consistent grip with that radial pattern throughout the forefront of the shoe. The back half of the outsole of the shoe, all of that grip is sort of comprised in this kind of graffiti-esque family tree. We do see some names throughout the tree, which of course is going to be Giannis's brothers, Giannis himself, and then above it, it's all kind of culminating in the Charles plus Veronica, which of course are Giannis's parents. Some dope elements that we've seen that they've kind of stayed consistent with since the Zoom Freak ones, which of course has been Giannis's love for his family and how his family sort of means everything to him. Another thing to touch on is we do have some sort of different materials, as most of the shoe, that particle gray, is going to be comprised of that kind of textile material. However, on the back half of the shoe where we see that GA Giannis logo, we do have some nice hits of gray suede throughout, which is a nice little dope added touch in my opinion. Fam, what do y'all think about this colorway? No need to really rush out for these guys. These will probably sit, considering all of these other Giannis's have set, really dating back to the Zoom Freak ones. It's really only been that multicolor colorway that's really sold out really quickly, guys. So if you're trying to catch a steal on these, you can definitely do that. And in terms of sizing, guys, you're definitely going to want to size up at least a half size in these, because these things run small, they run narrow, pretty much traditionally like a Kobe. You might want to size up a little bit more if you're growing or if you have really wide feet. However, I think half a size up standard should really do it for most people. I'm a big fan of this shoe. I know a lot of people think they took a step back stylistically from the ones, but guys, me personally, I think they've done so much in terms of tech in basketball with this shoe that just doesn't factor into the argument for me anymore. I love this shoe, and I definitely like these more than the ones, guys. Maybe that's just me. I don't really care. That's definitely, in my opinion, hands down. Let's check these things out on feet, guys, with a little sock combo to match. Let me know down below, you copping, you got any questions, hit me with those and I'll try to hit y'all back. Stat, comment, like, subscribe, do that for me, guys. I appreciate y'all. Much love, fam. Stay blessed, stay safe. Peace.